Usually you're going to have more like rectangles instead of squares. And just divide them so that you have 6 semi-equal sections. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so with Scratchboard, you're concentrating on the white and the lighter areas of it, not the darker areas like we were with the pen. So you have to think a little bit in reverse, and you really have to concentrate on what you're doing or you make mistakes. So like on the tree bark, when we did the pen, right, we started with the darkest areas and we came in with the pen, right? Everybody remember that, and these lines in here? Well, we can't do that with this because the darkest areas are going to have the least amount of lines. So we're going to start with some of the lighter areas of it. So I'm going to start like in here, over here, and similar lines, same way, like that slightly shaky hand as you're doing it, right? And removing, can y'all see what I'm doing, kind of? Removing the areas. So I'm doing short little lines because I've got to leave some of the black. Never ever should you be carving away. I'm going to show you what not to do on this one right here. This is going to be my no. All right, nope. Don't, at this point and on any of these, you're not going to use the side and scrape off that much, okay? Ever. All right, you're also not going to do this and scrape off that much. I don't want to see a big area of white like that. All right, you're going to do little areas. The other thing we talked about not doing is we're not going to go around and outline, right? Because those lines are dark. Remember? Okay, so going back to what we should be doing. Little lines, some in this area right here, little shaky lines to get my bark in and to get that texture of the bark. There are no really straight lines in this. For now, I'm going to leave the in-between a solid black. And just do my little shaky lines and try to fill in as much of the bark as I can. At this point, no outlining. Do not outline. Just little shaky lines. And I'm leaving the darkest parts right now and doing the lightest parts. What was your question? All right, so I'm going to hold it a little bit closer to the camera so y'all can kind of see more of the details. See those little bitty shaky lines working around the darkest areas. You cannot put it back with Scratchboard, so the goal is to take it off a little at a time. Like in this area of the bark right here is a lot lighter than in this area. So when I go, I'm going to add more lines in here. I'm still not going to take it all off, but I'm going to take more off than I take off over here. So my lines are going to be closer together, right? Like we do with pen techniques. When they're closer together in pen, it's darker, but we're working in reverse. So it's closer together on Scratchboard, it's going to be lighter. So because these are rectangles and we're actually working within a square, I'm just going to draw a line there to the side to help me keep my proportions correct. When I start going into the darkest areas that I've left black for now, I'm going to use some stippling techniques and just remove little dots, right? You need that. And your sketchbook. So I'm just going to pull off little bitty tiny areas in here because it's not solid black. I'm actually going back and doing some hatching on some of these lines over here to make the lighter areas lighter because they're not light enough yet. But I'm not going to scrape off everything in a shape. There is no pure white large areas on here, so I'm not going to pull off that much of the Scratchboard. All right, anyone have any questions? No? Yes. It's up here on the top, on the front shelf. Okay. Shh. Shh. Thank you. Remember, you should be working slower than me.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. So just like in the ink, it's not about matching it exactly, but trying to make it look like bark. Okay? Which I don't know if I'm doing a great job at, but I am trying. No. I should have practiced.